Hey Aries, welcome to your June reading. I'm just going to jump straight in and begin shuffling and laying for you. This one wants to come out. I'm using 3 decks today. They are new decks. Yes, that one. Someone's driving past. There are 3 new decks that I got. 2 for Mother's Day, and one of them was like a happy kind of coincidence. I ordered a deck for my mum for Mother's Day. And then what came wasn't what I ordered. They kind of had the imagery and the labeling wrong. But I was intrigued, so I opened the deck, and when I had them in my hands, I was like, this is mine. So my mom never got one. I do owe her a deck for the little hamper thing that I made together, but I left it till last minute and didn't reorder a new one. Anyway, so I'm using the Practical Magic Oracle. They have ravens on. It was one of my Mother's Day gifts. It was kind of just, as soon as I saw the ravens, there's something about ravens for me. They're definitely something I'm drawn to. Then have Solitary Witch by Lucy Cavendish. If you follow me, you'll know that I do resonate with all things Lucy Cavendish. I'm loving them so far. This is the first time I'm using them doing readings. And that one. And then I'm using the Mystical Realm Tarot, which is the surprise deck that I received. And they just feel so nice in my hands. Like, as soon as I did it, I was like, oh my god. And they are totally different to kind of what I would actually choose for myself. I'm sorry if I move away from the mic. I'm trying to be a little bit more hands-free so that I can actually use my hands and speak to you. But yeah, they're yellow on the outside. And yeah, they're not my usual type, but I am enjoying them. So let's begin, Aries. Channel your anger. Trials. Interesting. This is paired with, I'm just going to turn that round. It is reversed, so I would say pay attention. This is something you may need to know. There you go. And sometimes she changes. So definitely as soon as I read that, I feel like you are undergoing some major changes in your life at the moment. This can range from spiritual, which I do feel like this is saying, like you are transforming during this time, but also maybe literally within your life. Things are changing for you. Now, when we go through transitions, especially more on a spiritual growth level, it means things in our life there's things we've got to release or we're letting go of, and we're shifting and changing. So things that were relevant or resonated with us previously, they no longer do with this person we're either becoming or we are today. The only thing is, like, sometimes it's a struggle of us allowing ourselves to let go of that, or the change of things drifting away from us can be hard to deal with as well. And this is kind of what I see here. Now, what I think will be beneficial to you guys instantly is I feel like baths, water. Now, this definitely insinuates spiritual change for me, for you, because when I'm seeing the need to kind of immerse ourselves in water. Now, water represents healing in terms of cleansing. If you are feeling urged to get a bath or sitting water, go swimming, if you have that urge to be by the ocean, it usually means that you are undergoing a healing period. And again, when we are healing, obviously we're always healing, but when we're going through the major healing, this is really kind of sticky for us, and we get this urge to submerge ourselves in water. So I would say go with that. Trust your instincts, trust your body. For a little bit of advice, I would say any kind of salts, Epsom salts, whatever you like that makes your bath a cleansing bath, and not necessarily obviously cleansing products that you're cleaning yourself with. I mean, like, literally herbs and spices and things like that. Whatever you're drawn to is my advice, but if you are somebody who's just not sure what's good, definitely salt within the water, because I'm just getting that sense of, cleaner or getting rid of the nasty that's making us feel like this is what I feel. That's why I like my hands free. I can move a little bit more rather than holding the mic. But yeah, I feel a bit like that. Like, you need this to rid of that negative that's attaching. Now, channel your anger. So I feel as though because you're going through changes, it can be a time where you're feeling a little bit irrational or reactive. So be aware of that. Now, I feel like actually this is you kind of trying to regain control of something or of your situation. So if you're going through a lot of changes, it can make you subconsciously feel a little bit insecure or a little bit unsure of what's happening, especially if you are a little bit more autopilot and it's just happening around you. Remember, we're not supposed to do that. There are times when it's needed or necessary for ourselves to kind of flow with it, but I feel as though during this time, this is a time of opportunities and kind of seizing those opportunities to get to where we want to be, right? So I kind of feel as though if it is happening around you, seize this opportunity and stop reacting and act upon. So don't get defensive at things and scenarios happening to you, because again, that can get you to retreat from the world, and I kind of don't want that. Now, I do get this sense of retreating to your own space, again, like to take a nice relaxing bath. Like, I'm literally getting a vision. I will show you this, because it's literally, this is the vision really, but I just keep being drawn back to that moment of you getting into a nice warm bath, and it's relaxing, light candles around you. And actually, as I'm saying that, I feel like you have specific candles that are maybe being gifted to you that you can be using during this time, because they are it's like, I mean, this will make sense to you, but I feel like there's an example of being gifted something that somebody has blessed with the intentions that will help you through what you're going through currently. So have a think. Do you have something like this? It could be something that you have received yourself or made yourself. But I kind of feel like that gift thing is a good thing. Moving on to our first cards, we have the Lovers in reverse. It may be a time, again, I feel like Aries, you keep not focusing on relationships and connections for some reason. I do feel like this should be somewhere you need to be channeling the positives rather than the negatives. I just get the sense of fear, and this could be where you need to be wary of your anger and reacting. If you are reacting to things in love, you are potentially going to push somebody away, so be aware of that. I do feel like this person is very different to either what you're used to or very different to you, so how you process things may be different. And again, different can be confusing when you're sometimes in love. We think we need simple and we need easy, but that's not love. That's just a transaction that is kind of doesn't need the work, and I feel like really, if we want a successful partnership, if we want long term, it's something that we need to constantly be putting work into. It shouldn't be hard work as such always, but there are times where it could be hard work. And at the end of the day, if you are choosing a person, then working with that energy is a positive. And I do feel like this is part of the changes for you, Aries, in terms of relationship. In terms of not relationship, I do feel like that applies, but I feel this need to sort of say this can be generally, again, a love for you and your scenarios. If you're not loving it, if you're not happy in a situation, it's perhaps time to choose something different. And I do just get this sense of different from what you're used to, different from what you've had, because you're changing. What you wanted once upon a time is not what you have today or where you're going tomorrow. And I kind of want you to embrace that, Aries. Because I feel like what's on the other side of that is something more balanced and more whole for you than perhaps something that you chased previously or allowed in your life previously. So I'm going from that. The next is judgment. Definitely feel like there is something within you that is judging something, but it's incorrect. It's kind of like you're making wrong assumptions or something. And I do feel like this is like just a feeling within you that's like, it's like you, again, are reactive. That's what I'm going to say. It's like being reactive to something. So I do feel like during this time not to make any rash actions based on how you're feeling, and more so recognize the feelings you're having. And that's where I feel like the healing side of things is. It's like the way that you're feeling is happening for you to recognize, I'm feeling like this. What can I do to make myself feel better? I need to do... Oh, bless me. Sorry about that. Recognize what you're feeling and realize, like, is this actually based on facts, or is it just me, jumping to conclusions and feeling in my feelings, in more of a negative way, because sometimes we cannot trust the first feeling that we feel because it's a reaction rather than a genuine feeling about something, if that makes sense. And I'm really feeling like that's here. It's like the opposites of me. I keep feeling like while you might feel like this, the opposite is reality. So I kind of feel like that could help you in terms of that. I do think it is a time for you not to be judging people or people's actions. It is a time for you to be looking more inwards and how it's making you feel and how you're reacting. Maybe that would be more productive, I guess. And the next column, I'm actually going to read this without keywords. I have 3 sets of keywords above and then 4 columns of tarot. And I feel like these ones is more still under the same column. Now we have the Empress in reverse, so definitely need some attention on yourself. There's something imbalanced within you, and I feel like it is a time for you to express. I actually feel like, as I was saying, because it's all about you, but I feel like it's how you're expressing yourself in the world. I actually don't feel like you need to be doing everything for yourself. It's like needing to be doing things for others because that's in your best interest, if that makes sense. It's like being compassionate of others sort of brings out this vulnerable and more loving side of yourself, if that makes sense. And I feel like it's very easy for you to go into the I need to take time to myself, I've got to take care of myself. And this is sort of saying like actually what is good for yourself is by nurturing connections, is by kind of showing your more vulnerable side to others, building those connections. I just feel like there's something about building connections here for you that's not to the extent that where you would like it to be at. And I just feel as though even though the Empress in reverse, I'm seeing it as focusing on self, but it's more about getting what the self desires deep down rather than just nurturing the self and giving yourself self-love, if that makes sense. And I do feel like this is paired with that. Like I said, we have that need to kind of get in the bath and soak. And I feel like this really does feel like a very loving, nurturing thing to do for yourself. So I definitely would say keep up with the self-love. So I was just checking my mic was attached. I just had that thought in the back of my mind. Is to make sure I don't know why I kind of felt like my mic was not doing what it's supposed to. Hopefully this is recording the sound. Anyway, so definitely do the self-nurturing things, of course, but what I just feel as though it's extending that self-love to those that you love. I hope that makes sense. We have 9 of Wands in reverse next. This is definitely, I feel as though it's time for you to, again, focus where you wish to have your focus. Again, think bigger picture. What is it? Where do you want to be in 5 years? And I feel like Aries, you could do that for yourself if you allowed it. I want you to think like, what do I want in 5 years? And then shift your focus gradually to make sure that that is in alignment for you. I do feel like you have had your focus on hard work in terms of career, in terms of, building your life independently for yourself, to a degree where that's not the kind of independence that you crave anymore. That's the feel I feel with this. So it's like putting that same hard work into actually the next phase of life that you are wanting right now. And I do feel like this is something I have been repetitively saying to you, maybe over the past year, on and off intervals, of saying like you're focusing on the wrong thing. And I do think it's because you go back into this what what's comfortable, and we're in a time now astrologically where it's about getting out of the comfort zones and actually getting what we want, not what the world's telling us what we want, not what we tell ourselves, oh, this will bring us security, this will just, like, that might not be exactly what you need right now. And it's about being present and bringing into our lives the level of independence that we actually want, because Uranus is in Taurus, and it's about our values and bringing that to the forefront of independence. So, for example, if what you're wanting is marriage, but you're so focused on career, and then you're meeting people, but again you're putting your career first before a person, you're not going to get that aspiration because your focus is not on the thing you're actually desiring in this phase of your life. It's about a balance, and I do feel like you already have the ticked boxes. That side's going smoothly. So why is it that you're still hesitant to go all in the other way. This could as well be the other way around. You've put your focus on family and, building a life with somebody else, and then now you're craving that career, but you're really struggling to get yourself out of that dynamic. So just because I'm saying one way, you can, obviously this is a collective reading, you can apply it to your situation, as in where your attention wants to be, you're still settling for what you know and what's comfortable. Astrologically, we're facing our fears, and remember, fears are just made up things to hold us back. They are not realities, and they're often not based on facts. We make up excuses for ourselves a little bit because it's scary, taking risks and changing. But you already have changed, and you've already moved on, so it's time for you to channel that, go with that, realize that, yeah, you know what, I have, and the values that I do kind of hold more dear to my heart are this. And once you make those kind of realizations for yourself, that's when things will get moving. Now next we have outer wisdom, and again this is reversed. All of these ones seem to be reversed, so pay attention. Interesting. This came up, I think, for Virgo. So Virgo and Aries. So if you do have both of those in your chart, definitely pay attention to this. The outer wisdom, I actually see this as though, there's things for you to learn from somebody else. So again, with everything that we have just been speaking about, Aries, I would say that if we are speaking more on the relationship side of things, that perhaps your partner is somebody who can help teach you how to be that better partner, how to focus more on love. Maybe that's something that they've focused on all this time. Or again, just externally from yourself with whatever your aspiration is, where you want to be in that 5 years time. And I would say it's going to happen sooner than 5 years, but I'm just giving you a timeline to work with for you to think, where do I want to be in that 5 years? Because normally people who make plans, they have that 10-year plan of where they want to be, but I want you to bring it closer because things are changing so much right now that we're doing 5-year plans, not 10. Anyways, so that outer wisdom, I say what you want to learn, where you want to be, there is wisdom for you external to yourself. So don't be in the attitude of, I know everything, I know what's right for me, I know what's best, I know how to be. That kind of attitude is literally just going to bring up more issues with you and keep you over here in that internalized anger. So keep that in mind, that there is a lot to learn. There are other conversations, so you may need to also be aware that there are, as I'm saying this, I feel like there may be conversations external from yourself being had either about you or like concerns, expresses, worries, but there's wisdom within that as well. It comes from a wise space. I feel as though anybody that may be talking about you is actually talking about you from a space that's caring and concerning. I do get this little bit of beware of the people, as in, so make sure that you know who's caring and who's not. I.e., if someone's gossiping about you and they're not someone close to you and they're talking about you, that's obviously someone we're not going to take wise wisdom from. Somebody who doesn't really know you is just talking about you. That's irrelevant, I felt like this needed to be said, because some people think, oh, okay, so that gossip they were saying about me is probably true. Nah. This is a wise owl. This is somebody who knows. He's all in the know. She's all in the know. It's no gender to this. When I use pronouns, often it's just the first one that comes out of my mouth, unless I specify. But yeah, this is somebody who's coming from a very wise space, who's kind of offering wisdom that, again, is nurturing. With this outer wisdom, it gives me as though there's a lot of growth and potential with this. Actually, with both of these cards together, a lot of potential and divine guidance. It's like, if anything, I would say it's meant to be. If you are having questions in terms of if I take this direction, I feel as though, it's meant to be. You're meant to go through that. You're meant to go this way. Take that as you will. I do feel this longing from you, as though you are wanting, but again, with this, there are other conversations. It's like, in the imagery, there's a window pane, and when I've read this previously, I've not read it this way, so I'm noting this for you, as though you are keeping it at a distance. There's that there. It's right there for you, but again, it's like if you don't pay attention to it, if you don't go for it, you are keeping this glass window between you. You can see it, and you're communicating with it, but you're keeping something wedged between as though it's out of reach for you. So be mindful of that. But I do feel like there's deep roots, and it could even be that there's past life connections if this is relationship between you and the person, or again, people around you who are the wise ones. It's like the connection between you and the wisdom, it's like it runs deep. It's very deep. It's coming from a space that's kind of ancestral and well-meaning for you, which is that what I keep getting, as in this is good things. This is something that wants the best for you. Queen of Pentacles. Oh, I love this. So yes, again, great. What I was getting when I looked at the greens and that of the wisdom card is what I'm getting as soon as I look at this, as though you're surrounded by abundance and you're attracting it, and there's this potential all around you. But I do keep feeling the potential for some reason, so I want you to see the potential. Let me have a look then from this Queen of Pentacles. For some reason, I got little people coming from this. So if there's children involved, could be something like that. Or just people who you see as younger or smaller than you. Again, so career-wise, it would be people underneath you. I feel as though they're supporting you, or they're like a key to this as well. Interesting. And moving towards that. I feel as though so even this could be if you want children or something, that you're being urged to move towards that, which would go with the values and family as well. Interesting. But you are safe, you are secure in this. I feel as though, again, this is what I got when I said before, like financially and career-wise, I just feel like you are supported like financially, prosperously, as though you don't have to worry too much like that. It's kind of like go for what you desire now because the rest is supported, the rest is safe. Interesting. Next we have Three of Cups in reverse. Oh, interesting. So it's definitely time to celebrate. I know this is in reverse, but I actually get like, it's like allowing the harvest, so taking inventory and allowing yourself to kind of fall into the celebrations of things. Could even insinuate that you're about to have a celebration with like, again, the people that you cherish. It's like cherishing, coming together with some, it's like coming into completion a little bit, but taking inventory. I don't like that. I'm hoping this makes sense as it's coming out. I'm just sort of saying words here. I'm just getting like taking harvest, enjoying. But again, it's not like, oh, big celebration, congratulations. It's like just that warm feeling when you get together with a load of family and friends and you have a good time. It's like that more than just celebrating something major. It's like being comfortable and happy and content with the people that you love, which I'm loving. That's good. Our next keywords, be kind and charming. This came through for Virgo too. If you have Virgo in your chart, definitely check that out as well. Or it could... Sure, I understand. Sorry, my Siri is talking. Yeah, check it out. Or if you have a Virgo relationship or Virgo friends, family, this could again be very relevant that they're connected in some way. Be kind and charming, and then transcendent amidst the everyday. So definitely you are changing literally by the day at the moment. I feel you're definitely going through some life changes, and changes in your priorities. Interesting. I do feel like you want to nurture something. With this be kind and charming, I get again this little thing that you want to nurture and protect. So this could literally be again starting a family, or even inviting a new pet or something. It's kind of just like bringing something into your life to nurture and nourish. So again, this could literally be just something you hold of value. But I do kind of see children in that for some of you. 2 seconds, Roomberg. I'll be there in a minute. I have 2 of my kids home today. My 3-year-old and my 9-year-old. He's not very well, so he's kind of on Big Brother duties, helping me out. Be kind and charming. See, with this, it's like in the beginning, rein in the anger. It's time for you to switch on that charm that I know you have and focus that towards, again, what you're wanting. I do feel like in terms of relationships, friendships, that you should be using empathy and compassion and being a little bit more conscious of how you are reacting to things, be more understanding than not. I just feel like that is the guidance for you that can, again, next level you in those aspirations. I do feel as though that there is something to nurture here that perhaps, again, has been neglected, interestingly, and to learn about that. Again, it could be self-learning. It could be learning, again, if this is about partners, it could be just learning more about your partner or listening to your partner. Again, when we listen to our partners when they are speaking or when they're going through something, we're learning about them. They feel seen, and also in many ways it deepens your love for them because you can see them in a different way, that's much more real, raw and vulnerable in a way that other people don't, and that builds deeper connections for sure. Two of Cups in reverse. I definitely, so Two of Cups again would insinuate soulmate or past life connections as well. That's how I kind of read it. I would say that again, it needs attention, but also I just feel as though, look towards external, less internal. It could be that you've been focusing on yourself for some time, because normally I'm all about, especially in the energy we're working with, it's time for you to build yourself up and what you want. And I feel like it's because what you want is external from yourself. I do think that maybe you have been a little off key with that or something, or as though you've not been focusing. As I'm saying this, it could very much be something along the lines of you've been very passive with it, as in, well, what will be, and you're not supposed to be like that right now. But when we get like that, we then don't think about the future. We don't think about committing further. We don't think about putting in the effort that much because things are good. I'll let it, I'll leave it be. It's good. It's nice. I don't need to do anything. And again, being passive in anything, there's often this risk of neglect of something, or you're missing something because you're not giving it attention. So be aware of that. Because that came to me as I said that. Our last card is Nine of Pentacles in reverse. Yeah, you're not tending to your garden. So where you want to grow, you need to be tending to this. It's like, it's beautiful. There's a lot to offer there. It has great potential. But again, if you are putting your focus in something else and on something else, you're basically telling the universe that actually I don't want that much. I don't need to put any effort in there. And I think these are the thought processes that you need to be having with yourself. And switching it up because you're changing, you're going through things that's getting you closer and closer to that. But if you are contradicting, it's, you're at risk of, again, setting yourself back or potentially missing an opportunity. This is a great time for opportunities right now. If you have anything in Taurus, definitely a lot of luck and abundance, and again, everything to do with values will be amplified during this time. So again, if there's an aspect of yourself that's keeping you at a distance from that, it's just something that could be a hurdle for you. I was going to say burden for some reason, so keep that in mind, but I meant hurdle. Thank you so much, Aries. That's us done. Please subscribe to my channel. Thank you for being here. If you have any questions or any insights on how this reading applies to you, please comment below. I love reading all the feedback, so thank you so much, guys, and I'll see you next month.